Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Nedling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome everyone to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Nedling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to empower you to grow your business and take it to the next level. I have a fantastic guest for you that can just help you do that. Please join me in welcoming Kim Walsh Phillips. And let me tell you first a little bit about Kim. So Kim is the founder of Powerful Professionals, a business coaching and education company. She went from 32 clients to over 11,000 in less than a year and was recently named number 475 in the Inc. 5000 and is an MBA-free self-made millionaire. She's named a must to read by those in the business by Forbes magazine. She's the best-selling author of multiple books, including The Ultimate Guide to Instagram for Business and the No BS Guide to Direct Response Social Media Marketing. She is the behind-the-scenes secret weapon of some of the biggest names in business, including Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, Dan Kennedy, Profit First author Mike, I'm going to mess this up, Mike, and Harley Davidson Hilton Hotels and High Point University, and has spoken on numerous stages around the world and has shared the stage with people like Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone, Barbara Corcoran, and Gary Vaynerchuk.
Just say Gary V, it's fine.
Gary V, thank you so much. And I've heard you say this so many times, I should have it memorized. She is a fellow resident in the Atlanta area with me. And so I'm going to let her tell a little bit about her story. So please join me in giving a warm welcome online to Kim Walsh Phillips.
Thank you so much for having me. What a pleasure to be with you here. I love it. So good.
So I always ask everybody the simple question of where you live. We kind of gave that away, but so you are a North Atlanta resident, but I gave them a little taste of the fact that you went from 32 clients to 11,000 in that year, but it wasn't overnight success. I'd love for you to just share your story about maybe the struggle that led to the opportunities that led to where you are today.
I'd love to. In my first company, it was a marketing agency, and we got paid by the hour to do work, right? And that's super normal. Most of us make money with the physical labor that we do, going out and getting clients, doing the work one-on-one. And things were actually going well. They had for a long time gone very badly, but they started to go well. And I had some really well-known clients like Kevin, Mr. Wonderful O'Leary from Shark Tank, and Dan Kennedy, which is one of the godfathers of marketing, and Hilton Hotels. And so I had these really great clients, and I am finally doing well financially. And I'm putting my daughters to bed one night, and I just kind of call up to God as I'm putting them to bed. And I said, could you just freeze time for a second? Because I don't want to miss any more of them growing up. Yeah. And I didn't expect to hear anything back. But that night I did. I heard, Kim, I don't need to freeze time. You need to be more present. Mm-hmm. And it just hit me like, gosh, I got to find a way to grow my business that doesn't require me. And so I started looking at what are the things that I could take out of my responsibility and put them with somebody else. And what I saw was I could I used to go to like networking events and chamber and things, and I could automate my lead generation. So that was going to be really good. And then I could automate my sales process. I didn't need to get on the phone anymore. I can do a webinar, and I could automate how we served our clients. I didn't have to be one-on-one. I can talk to many people at one time. So I do all this, it works, my company scales, I end up getting 3 offers for my business in 1 week. I sell my first company within 90 days of wanting to sell. And then in my new business, in 3 years, we went from the 32 people we had in our first company to 11,000 using all the same strategies. And that not only we do in our business, but I detail strategy by strategy inside the book, The Shift.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I have the pleasure of being able to work with you for the last few years. And I think that the other thing that you didn't touch on here that really is important is that you bring heart into business.
Thanks.
And I think that that's what a lot of people need, especially as entrepreneurs, because they don't know what they're doing. And you could, beat it over their heads, but sometimes it doesn't sink in. And that heart that you bring, I think, really is helpful.
Oh, I love that. So good.
So you have a lot of presence on the various social media, and we'll share that later. But you recently had a post that I thought was really a good one to maybe remind people. You talked about 4 great tips for attracting the best client if you want to stand out in this crowd that we have out there now. So can you sort of elaborate on what those 4 tips might be?
Yeah. So first you want to decide who you're going after, who's your right fit client, what things are they concerned about. Then you can go to answerthepublic.com and you can look up what questions do the folks ask about that industry, and you can create a list of 10 questions. Then you're going to record a video using an app called StreamYard, all 10 videos, just answering those questions. You just say, today's question I'm going to answer is yada, yada, yada. And then you answer the question. Then you take those videos on StreamYard and you schedule them so that you're getting one video going live every single week. And there's nothing else you need to do in your content marketing. Then you're fueling your content marketing with authority-based content. And then what you can do is if you already have an email list, you could just email them a link to the video. So it gives you your email, it gives you your post, and it gives you your content in order to reach your market. Yeah.
That's awesome. Very, very good. And everyone should be doing this. And I didn't remember to tell you, but if you don't have paper and pencil, you really need to get it. But if not, please subscribe so that you can get all this good information.
Replays.
Yes, replays. So we talked about the fact that you have several books. Your first book that we mentioned was about Instagram. And how has Instagram changed things for your business? Being the video aspect, I guess, of it.
When I first started writing that book, The Ultimate Guide to Instagram for Business, I only had 32 Instagram followers. They actually gave me that book offering because of this performance of my first book, not because I had a great Instagram following. So I actually, every strategy I found, I researched and I used it on my own account. So I was able to see how it would work. And by the time I was done writing the book, I had over 10,000 followers, which is really cool how quickly it was able to grow. And today I have, 2 years later, I'm pulling it up, 21,000 followers on Instagram. And I already have a contract. I have a book, The Ultimate Guide to Instagram for Business 2 is coming out in August. So it really can be step by step. It is formulaic, and it's a process that everybody can follow.
Perfect. All right. So let's talk about this new book. I'm so excited to see what it's all about, The Shift. So what was the inspiration or the driving force that said, I have to write this book?
Yeah, so the Shift's topic, scale your business and multiply your wealth without sacrificing you, is all based on that transition I had. How could I scale my business and multiply my wealth without having to work more hours? And I give you the exact strategies inside the book.
Oh, everybody run and buy this book. So when you think about your target audience, and you always talk about your avatar, but who are you writing this book specifically for? Is it for any business, or is it more entrepreneur? What's the audience of this book?
This book's audience is professional services. So people who are a coach, a consultant, an accountant, an attorney, a marketing coach, somebody who would consider themselves a coach or consultant. They have clients and they've relied upon word of mouth and referrals for marketing, and they haven't been able to scale beyond that. And this book will show you how.
So the way the book is formatted, is it read some chapter, some things that you've given them suggestions, or how is it formatted?
Yeah, I call it a storybook, playbook, workbook.
Nice.
It's all of those things. So there's fun, engaging, entertaining stories in there to make you enjoy reading the book. Then there's a playbook in there because it gives you literally the step-by-step instructions you need in order to get these things to work. And then there's a workbook. I give you exercises so you can personalize the marketing strategy as you go along.
Perfect. So then you really can do this. Once we get the book, though, do you put on the inside, and for more help, see Kim?
Yeah, well, we actually do. My publisher is awesome, and they actually allowed us to put a call to action in the back of the book.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's perfect, because, as I said, she is wonderful to work with.
thanks.
All right. So you have this book out. What do you feel the typical outcome would be if a person's committed to doing this? When would you think, again, if they're committed to doing the work, that they would start to see some difference?
Right away, immediately you'll see a difference. The strategies we have instant wins, because I know you guys want instant wins in order to keep going. So we give them to you right away, immediately.
So let's talk about the instant wins. A lot of times, and I know whenever I talk to folks about, what are your small wins, and they have a hard time thinking about that. But I think as I was reading some about this book, you really are talking about the little things that you do every day that compound over time that make a difference. Do you want to speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, so there's this concept of 1% shift, which I love, and it goes along with the book really well, that if we just shift 1%, if we keep doing that every day, by the end of time, we'll have such a big shift, it'll be incredible, and that will feel good and feel doable. When we try to go, we usually think in our brains we're going to go 180, and it's too much, and so we give up. So make your practices doable for who you are at your worst. Too many of us set up our business strategies for who we are at our best. Set up yours for who you are at your worst in order to reach your target market in the right way.
That's really excellent news, because there are a lot of people that, as you say, they don't think about that. Then they get frustrated because they aren't every day at their best.
That's right.
And so then they get frustrated and quit. And we know that a lot of entrepreneurs don't make it for the first year even.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you have another quote that I've got. It says, the most important thing in scaling the business is strategy first.
Mm-hmm.
So share here why people fail to do that. And, I guess you touched on it, that they jump into things, but, why is it so important that you think about that strategy for what you're planning?
Yeah, so I think that too many people look at a marketing strategy someone else is doing, like a tactic, a new Instagram reel or an email subject line, and they're not leading with strategy first. And only by leading strategy first are you making sure that your right message is reading your right market at the right moment. And when you do that, that's when you have incredible results. But you cannot get there just copying what other people do, because typically what they're doing isn't working.
Yeah. And again, then you have that cycle of not getting anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So we have spring break coming up, and spring break is a time where families go places. And if you are a solopreneur, entrepreneur, somebody's got to do your business. But you shared with us some great tips at Christmas time, at the holidays, of how you can actually be present for your family and also be present for your business. So I wanted you to share those great tips again.
Well, if you did any trainings during the year, that week, your spring break week is a great week to spring again into that workshop. So you can do replays. You can repurpose your best content and schedule it using Creator Studio. And you can actually schedule a promotion ahead of time. I love to do this, like a 3-day email campaign the second weekend of spring break to say like it's the ending spring break special. And you can play off of that. So really tapping into holidays, weird holidays, locations you're going to be at, and changing your bonus offers to match that naming is a really great way to keep everything fresh.
Awesome. Well, I have some questions that I call rapid fire questions. And so what would you say to having the best year ever in your past, I guess, 3 years during COVID? What was the best year that you had and why?
So yeah, every year has been amazing. I love the year I'm in right now, which has been great. Every year since I've been in business, I've had an increase in revenue and an increase in leads, which is such a blessing and so fantastic. But I always love the moment that I'm in, and I don't ever want to go back. So we are good, right as we are.
Great. So, the entrepreneurs often struggle with having a team right away, that they just want to do everything themselves. And so what would your guidance be for that person?
So I don't think we should do anything that we suck at or that we don't like doing. There's somebody else who loves doing the thing you don't like to do. And if you give them an opportunity to focus on that, you'll have more time to do the things that you're good at that actually could multiply your impact and income.
And you do a multiple live in person as well as virtual. And as I said, you have a great presence on social media. Why is it important that we try to be in multiple places as we grow?
Yeah, so people have different habits, and our job is to go where they are, not where we want them to come to us. So if you want to reach your target market, you got to be willing to go out to where they are.
Good. And so the one final thing is, what's next after this next book? I heard something about Italy.
Oh yeah, so we are about to be on Below Deck Sailing. I'll be featured on the show with my a client of mine and some of my team members. We just released a brand new podcast called the Scale Fast Podcast, and I just love it. And it's already ranked in the top 50 of all of iTunes. And then the book. So I mean, that's a lot. That's all awesome. Going on in the next 3 weeks, which is crazy to me. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so now is my warning to those that are just listening that I'm going to share my screen so you can get Kim's contact information, as well as being able to get the information to get her book. Her website is shiftbookbonus.com. Again, that's shiftbookbonus.com, shiftbookbonus.com. She's on LinkedIn, she's on Instagram, she's on Facebook, she's on Twitter, she's everywhere. And just use her name, Kim Walsh Phillips, and you'll find her. If you want to get the shift now, you can go to that website, shiftbookbonus.com, again, shiftbookbonus.com, so that you can pick up this new book. And it's the March or April 11 is the first day.
Yeah.
It's the launch. Yes. Yeah, so mark
now, and you get all the bonuses, which is great.
Yeah. So do that. Again, if you are watching, please grab a screenshot so you can get that. So thank you so much for being such an awesome guest. I was very excited to have you on because you, to me, are like a celebrity. So I love it. And I wish you all the success, but I really don't think that I need to do that because you will be outstanding. This book will go flying off the shelves. And if you are watching and are not buying it, shame on you, because I'm telling you, you need to have it.
It's not too late. Thank you so much for having me as a guest. I so appreciate you.
You're very welcome. And as always, I remind everyone that life is a journey and it is up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Nettling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Nettling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, confidence and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.